I got your wig, ho. You're mad. Miss Wig. I got your wig, ho. I got your wig, ho. Miss Wigiana.
We were sitting at Sutton's store, and I was, unfortunately, asking you about your esophagus. Sutton said to me, "Why are you yelling at me?" You didn't say anything. No, I'm talking,
We all
guys.
yell
I'm
at each
talking.
other.
I'm talking.
We all yell at each other.
I'm a black woman too. And that is somebody weaponizing me as a black woman, trying to make me look aggressive.
You can stand up for yourself, which you were doing perfectly fine that entire night.
I'm still talking. So I was being weaponized as a black woman, trying to imply that I'm yelling at her when I'm clearly not. Who stood up for me? This one did.
I want to express my condolences to you. I know your mom recently passed. What can you tell us about her?
Shortly after we started filming, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. She told me on camera.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. How is she doing?
She passed 3 months later.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. So that's what I was actually dealing with while we were filming.
Oh.
My mom's stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis. So, and it was, there was a time when, I talked to Kyle about it a bit because I knew that she'd understand because of her mom.
Her mom, yeah.
And then there was a time when I tried to talk to Sutton about it and she threw it back in my face. And they found an 8 by 7 centimeter tumor in her lung.
Wow.
It's been a hard year.
And all this was going on
while she was filming,
filming the show.
Yeah.
You didn't share it with the others.
At a certain point, I was like, you know what? I just want to compartmentalize and not have to. So that's what I was actually dealing with while we were filming.
Oh.
My mom's stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis. So, and it was, there was a time when, I talked to Kyle about it a bit.
You didn't share it with the others.
At a certain point, I was like, you know what? I just want to compartmentalize and not have to.
I talked to Kyle about it a bit.
You didn't share it with the others.
At a certain point, I was like, you know what? I just want to compartmentalize and not have to.
Anna Marie, why did Sutton's story about her esophagus bother you so much?
I guess the way it was presented to me was just really odd. Sutton, you guys know her the best, right? I feel like you guys are the closest with her. Small esophagus. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Bananas.
Google narrow esophagus, and it's very much a thing. And it's not like it has never happened before.
Even in the medical field, you can't say this is 100% the way it is all the time.
No, and actually when you type it in, one of the next words is genetic. So there's a genetic issue to it, and she was saying that her family has it.
Okay, so a bunch of you guys tagged me in this clip of Anna Marie talking to Sutton about her esophagus, and I finally had time to watch the episode, so now I'm gonna weigh in. I think it was very disturbing how Anna Marie was like weaponizing her medical profession to tell Sutton things about her own condition. I'm gonna digress a little bit here and just talk about the esophagus. So the esophagus exists for one reason, which is to get food from your mouth into your stomach. It's just like a long, narrow tube. Sometimes the esophagus can have a stricture, which is a narrowing, and it can be severe or it can be mild. The first symptom that patients usually present with is difficulty swallowing. So you don't just chew your food more. Like a stricture is a stricture, and you can chew your food all you want, but unless you blend it into a smoothie, if your stricture is narrow, you're gonna have like the feeling of some food stuck in your esophagus. The most common cause is GERD, which is reflux disease, very common, peptic ulcer disease, cancer, eosinophilic esophagitis. Now, I specialize in thoracic anesthesia, so I'm very, very familiar with the procedures that we use to dilate the narrowing. It's basically we put a scope down the patient's mouth and go into the esophagus and locate where the stricture is. And then using a bougie, a balloon, or a guided wire, we are able to tent open the stricture a little bit more. I have done hundreds of these surgeries, and it's a minor procedure. You do have to undergo general anesthesia for it most of the time.
coming to you live from my kitchen counter in pajamas because this is the only time I'm going to have to do this. I've been meaning to respond to the countless number of messages, DMs, and tweets about the Beverly Hills Sutton esophagus issue with Anne-Marie. I just haven't had time, so here's my quick take. I'm not going to bore you with the medical details. Tiffany Moon did a great post, so if you want to go check that out, go for it. But here's my personal opinion on this. This is not a question about whether you are a nurse, a CRNA versus a physician. It does not matter where you fall in the spectrum, all the way from being a tech to being a doctor. You join the profession to be an advocate for patients. And as such, it is not our place to belittle, question, or demean a patient's symptoms or diagnosis. We are there to facilitate and help the patient through the medical process. And it was just very uncomfortable and cringy to watch Anne-Marie belittle Sutton's symptoms in such a way. She's a lovely person, Anne-Marie. I met her at BravoCon. We sat on the panel, but that scene was a no.
Hello, my dear.
Hey.
How are you?
Sorry, baby. I'm good. We need to talk.
We do need to talk.
We're going to talk right now.
Okay, let's talk right now. Go to the bar.
Just say leave. Don't say go to the bar. All right, I love it.
You picked the wrong person.
Seriously, Sutton, let me explain something
Excuse me,
to you
ma'am.
first.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Sutton.
No, ma'am.
Let me explain.
No, ma'am.
I don't yell. So if you want to make me yell, I
I'm
will
not
match
yelling.
your tone. Literally, Sutton approached me like I had been warned she would do. Everyone's like, oh, wait till Sutton yells at you. And I'm like, come again?
Here we go again. Someone's about to be toothless at this table in a minute.
We were all gussied up and making a scene.
Well, if you're going to have a confrontation, don't do it at the memorial service, celebration of life. Have it at Homeless Not Toothless. Listen, I gave him $25,000. Again, that deserves a fight. We're going to end it tonight, and we're going to end it real fast.
I'm not yelling.
You were. Now you're lying. You were yelling.
Oh, is this my third lie that
Yes,
I told?
your third lie.
What was the first two?
The first one was that her doctor said she can drink and have gabapentin at the same time.
Which he did.
Well, you can't.
I have a board-certified doctor, GI, that I've seen. So I know what I have.
Anybody would have asked their colleagues. Anybody would have looked at her like she had two heads for saying something that didn't make sense. And then anybody would have been like, why are you yelling at me, crazy lady? Because you were the one who lied.
How dare you keep bringing my medical conditions up to people?
Right.
She won't stop. And I am tired of talking about it.
This is why I say Sutton likes to do all the questioning. She likes to get messy with other people and poke and prod into their business.
The reason why I initially asked you here is because of your TikTok video you did after watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills a couple weeks ago. Now, you were tagged in this clip a lot about Anna Marie Wiley, the new cast member, which I have not really taken to yet, but she was using Sutton's small, dainty esophagus against her in a conversation. And I still was I was having a hard time understanding large esophaguses, small esophaguses, strictures. Can you walk us through that? What actually is a small esophagus? What is a stricture? How do you deal with these things?
Okay, yes. I want to thank the people who tagged me and brought it to my attention because I am not caught up on this season's Real House of Beverly Hills because I just have a lot going on. And it kept showing up in my social media. And I watched the clip, but then I didn't feel that I could speak about it until I saw the whole episode because you can't just watch a clip out of context. So I watched the whole clip and I was like, oh no, it wasn't out of context. Like she was this bad. So the esophagus is a tube that connects your mouth to your stomach. And it can have scar tissue, which is called a stricture. That can be high up in the esophagus or more commonly lower down in the esophagus, right where the esophagus meets the stomach. When people have that scar tissue called a stricture and they swallow certain kinds of food, especially like meat or bread, things that are not liquid or more easily passable, they get this feeling that the food is like stuck in their like, I don't know how to describe it, but everyone's had it before. It's called dysphagia, problem swallowing. And it's actually a common problem, which is why I was kind of surprised that Anna Marie, who is a medical professional, like did not know anything. Like, this is not some rare esoteric problem. Like,
oh my gosh, Dr. Moon, I had
is super common.
After I talked about it on my show last week, I had so many people reach out to say, I have this problem, or my friend or my husband has this problem. And I wasn't aware how much of an issue this actually is, that it's fairly commonplace.
Yeah, it's very common. I mean, not very common, but fairly common, because the main causes of it are like GERD, which is very common, peptic ulcer disease, which is very common, and then less commonly eosinophilic esophagitis or cancer, which I'm glad. Yeah, those are less common causes. But basically, she was just speaking incorrectly. Not only was she wrong, but she was like weaponizing her profession as a healthcare worker to sort of tell Sutton how she should and should not be feeling, and she should just chew her food more. When she said that, I was appalled. I was like, the way you treat an esophageal stricture is, one, not to gaslight your patient, but two, not to tell them to chew their food more. Like, that is so condescending. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, when the esophagus has a stricture, it doesn't matter how much you chew your food, unless it's like liquid or smoothie, and for sure it's going to pass the stricture. You're going to get that feeling of dysphagia and discomfort. And I just, when she said that, I was like, oh, now I got to say something.
And you said that I made up.
I didn't say you made it up.
You said she lied.
I scoured all of my medical books. I went to work.
She asked questions.
I asked anesthesiologists. I asked ENTs. They said, you can say that to a lay person, but if you say that to someone in medicine, you look stupid. I said what she said does not make sense medically.
You said that as well, but you said she lied.
Okay, I said if it's a lie. I said if.
You said she lied to me twice.
Yes, about the gabapentin, and then potentially this.
So you said she lied.
Potentially.
Just say it.
Crystal, you were the one saying she has an eating disorder. Did you have an eating disorder?
Are you out of your mind? You're implying that she has an eating disorder.
I'm not. For the record, those are Crystal's words, not mine. I never said that. I want to say this. Watching everything back and seeing how I behaved, how I handled the entire situation, I just want to apologize to you, because I can't even tell you how much I hated watching it.
I wasn't angry about the esophagus. It was the going behind my back and talking about it, and saying that I had an eating disorder and that I was hiding behind this ailment to have an eating disorder.
Then I'm sorry. For my part. For my part in everything that happened.
I will talk about my esophagus issue all day.
Well, I'm sorry that I upset you by talking about your esophagus.
Behind my back.
Behind your back.
That was really hurtful.
Right. We got a lot of response from viewers who were thanking you for spreading awareness about it. Viewers who suffered from it.
There were so many people with this esophageal disorder.
You brought awareness.
In not a very, not
in a very roundabout way, in the most worst way possible, but
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Well, as we moved into Spain, Anna Marie claimed that Crystal had called all of you shallow, uneducated, fake socialites.
Yeah.
Crystal, you denied it.
You ladies were not intelligent. Nobody was educated, and you're very shallow.
Shallow and uneducated?
Shallow.
Well, she knows I'm educated, so I'm
That's
fine.
ridiculous.
We're all educated.
We're
We
all
don't even have to
educated.
question that. We're all educated.
Have I ever said that I was a socialite?
No.
Have I said that I'm very social?
Yes.
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 With all the socialites I do know, they don't say I'm a socialite.
That is correct.
She actually, that's what she is. I do believe that she said that. I do.
Isn't that like an old term used? Just like,
don't
oh, what are we
know. All I
doing? A
know is
debutante
I've
ball
always-
and coming out? Is this a cotillion? None of us here are from, good breeding, despite what Sutton wants to think of herself.
I've been to the Met Gala 7 times. I'm on the board of American Ballet Theater.
Okay.
I just resigned from MOCA board.
Okay.
So there's that.
None of us here are, Northeastern blue bloods, so off.
Okay, so Crystal and I actually just
so.
talked about this the other day.
And?
At the American Ballet Theater Gala.
I know, I missed it.
That I chaired.
I know.
She said, I'm not a socialite. Socialites are in New York. It's an East Coast thing. San
Is she
Francisco.
social though? She's always out doing
She's
something.
social.
Okay. But not a socialite.
She might be the most social one in the group.
Okay.
I could hear her saying something like that. Like, I'm kind of the more social one. That I could hear her saying.
Okay.
I'm a very social person, and I don't call myself a socialite, but if that's what being social is, then I guess I am.
Yeah, the first night that Crystal and I met at that holiday party at our mutual friend's house, she was like, I'm a housewife. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like, so, are you guys, like, really good friends?
When I met her, she had asked me, because she watched the show, so she goes, do you guys hang out with each other all the time? And I said, some people hang out, and some people, I might see them like after, the next season. I said, it looks like everyone is super social, but there's more people who like have big groups of friends or their tight group. So I said, I'm someone that has a lot of friends. I'm very social. I'm one of the more social people because I'm from LA. And she took that to change it into, I said, everyone is not a socialite, but I am.
You have this need to make people, like, you need people to think that you're better than them.
I don't need anything.
She does. No, but that's all I've seen. And the not
That's all
being
you've seen.
honest.
I've met you 6 times in my
Crystal,
life.
that doesn't matter.
Give me an
It's
example
what
of
you've
when.
shown me.
Give me an example
Crystal,
of when I think I act like I'm better than you.
Well, right
Give me
now,
an example.
well, right now, I think you do because you
Okay, so
are.
always.
You're not
Give
being
another
honest.
example.
You're not being honest.
So give me another example.
With Crystal.
Give me another
She's
example.
like, they are uneducated and pretend socialite. She's like, I'm the only real, actual socialite in the group.
She probably did call us all uneducated. Hooray.
Don't care.
Yeah, right. Okay, what's your
I
next
mean,
question? Okay.
I don't care. Like, if she wants to say I'm uneducated,
I don't
did not go
either.
to college. I'm also very intelligent and very successful, so I don't really care what someone says I'm uneducated.
I mean, there's many ways to be educated. What, formally educated, street-wise? Are you worldly?
Self-educated.
Like what are we talking about? Sexual knowledge? I don't know, financial, spiritual?
Why
And if
does
you
that
hate
count?
us and we're also dumb, what are you doing here?
Crystal, bring it down a notch.
Do not tell me to bring it down.
You're acting like a hormonal teenager.
Oh my God.
Okay, don't make the little people come out.
You know what else I want from you? I want to thank you for giving
what?
you something to talk about and making your ass relevant.
What did you make of the interview tape where you said none of the ladies were highly educated?
Yeah,
I believe she said that because she intimated things like that by saying those are big words for you. And
But this is what I always say to this people. When people ask me, I say, we have dumbass conversations.
We knew that.
But also, like, another thing I want to say too is, like, there have been like instances where you've been like, less than truthful. Like, you denied saying
Don't
it.
throw
Later,
rocks
you admitted
because
to
you
saying
were proven
it.
to constantly lie on the show,
You
so I wouldn't do
tried
that.
to
Be
insinuate that
careful.
Sutton was racist for a year by saying she said something so dark, and then you said, "Oh, it was just a feeling. You made it up." You
No,
the
I
lie
never made
about
it
your
up.
14 friends,
girl,
and now
no
the lie
privilege.
about me. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of that. Like, I don't want to be part of like your system of lies.
And all this was going on
While she was filming, yeah.
filming the show.
Yeah.
You didn't share it with the others.
At a certain point, I was like, you know what? I just want to compartmentalize.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. I need to choose my words wisely as I don't want to offend anybody. But Anna Banana, you lying on your mama? It's not good to lie on skeletons and ghosts and so on. And I'm not trying to say you lying on your mama, but didn't you just say, or in that interview with that Heather McDonald lady, you said you told some of the ladies and they really paid you dust? So that's why you started going after Miss Sutton about her esophagus? But now you're saying you didn't tell anybody. Huh? Girl, again, I don't want to say you lying or, because, again, I know grieving is a serious thing, as, again, you did lose your mother. That's the truth. But, like, why you lie? Wait. Something ain't right, girl.
So that's what I was actually dealing with while we were filming. My mom's stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis. So, and it was, there was a time when, I talked to Kyle about it a bit.
You didn't share it with the others.
At a certain point, I was like, you know what? I just want to compartmentalize and not have to.
I talked to Kyle about it a bit.
You didn't share it with the others.
At a certain point, I was like, you know what? I just want to compartmentalize and not have to.
So what's going on, Miss Anna Banana? I don't like bitches lying on their... Hold on. Let me just say, I'm sorry for your loss, because losing a parent or just anybody is no joke, and it's really a sad thing to go through. But are you a lying ass bitch because you say one thing and then you say another? So that means you lying. And you lying on spirits and relics and so on. I'm not calling your mama a relic. I'm just saying, like, you really lying on your mama? Or you're not lying on your mama, but you're using your mother in the situation of a lie. At least that's what it's coming off as to me.
I want to say this. Watching everything back and seeing how I behaved, how I handled the entire situation, I just want to apologize to you because I can't even tell you how much I hated watching it.
Okay, I'm confused again, Miss Anna Banana. And I don't want to call you a lying ass bitch, as I know you are going through something serious about, you know, dealing with your mother and so on. So I'm trying to be delicate. But you're again confusing me because in that flashback clip that I showed, which is very much recent, you said that you told Sutton about the situation of your mother passing or being sick, and she didn't give a fuck. Or she was saying that you were using that as an excuse to how you were behaving.
My mother was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. She told me on camera.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. How is she doing?
She passed 3 months later.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. So that's what I was actually dealing with while we were filming.
Oh.
My mom's stage 4 lung cancer diagnosis. So, you know, and it was, there was a time when, you know, I talked to Kyle about it a bit because I knew that she'd understand because of her mom.
Yeah.
And then there was a time when I tried to talk to Sutton about it and she threw it back in my face.
So that's why you felt some type of way towards Sutton, but now you're apologizing towards her? Or to her, not towards her, what the fuck? But you're apologizing to her, which is nice and she deserves it. But I'm again confused if you're standing on, like you told her again something serious about your mother and she threw it in your face, but now you're apologizing at the reunion. You're just like fucking confusing me. And I don't know if you're telling the truth or not. Like, what, girl?
Ew. Like JK, but like maybe not. But thank you for watching. But you hating ass bitches always have something to say. Hating ass bitch, but you're still watching my vids. What? You're so upset. But that's like okay, because have a piece of bread, have a Xanax, relax, because I said what I said.